struggling to swim. So the sergeant went missing, like I said, Friday night. He was trying to save these girls from drowning, and police believe that he might have been dragged under by a rip current before anybody noticed. And
turn right onto Fuller Street.
It's such a sad story. He was there with his 10-year-old daughter. She's the one who actually called police when she said she couldn't find her father. And the two girls that he was trying to rescue were safe. They were taken home by their parents, so they made it out of the water safely. Unfortunately, the sergeant did not.
Awful story. Yeah,
it really is.
I've lived here my whole life, and one of my rules, and I was taught this when I was a kid, is don't go in the Detroit River. That the undercurrents are really significant, and that even great swimmers shouldn't go into the Detroit River. Now, I know there's places where they say it's okay. I'm never doing it. My mom and my grandparents used to go down there and go fishing all the time for perch, and they said that this is something I just learned. I would never go in that river, never.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I've never heard that about the Detroit River, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's a devastating story.
I mean,
either way.
Sometimes I thought, well, maybe it's like folklore or something like that,
right.
You know, but there's a lot of drownings that happen in that river.
It's very sad. You guys, as COVID cases spike on campus, CNU administration is now threatening to suspend or fine students who attend large parties. So classes actually resumed last Monday, and the school already has nearly 40 cases of the coronavirus. And I guess just a few days after classes started, there was a video that was posted online showing police breaking up this huge party at an apartment complex. And I guess students later received a letter basically saying that they could be fined or suspended if they continue to take part in partying. And the university is also warning that the campus could actually switch back to remote learning if selfish, that's a quote, students keep throwing parties.
Don't you believe that's where this is going? I mean, this is why we can't have college football. I saw over the weekend, I think it was Auburn, I think it was Georgia. I mean, people are gathered in masses, celebrating school being back. And this is why we can't have college football.
You knew this was going to happen.
Of course.
Like, it's not a shock. I mean, this is what college students do. And whether you tell them not to do it or not, it doesn't matter. They're still going to go to house parties. They're still going to go to frat parties. They're going to throw a party anywhere they can. And it's going to continue happening, whether you threaten to suspend them or not, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm surprised that all the colleges aren't doing just all online. You know, it's just, they can't resist. You know, I think I said a couple months ago, I'm like, yeah, they can, come on, everybody can do it. No, if you really go back to those times and how immature we all were, there's no way.
No.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not just college. It's pretty much everywhere. It really is. I think people are so done with COVID. And whatever. To each their own. Do you. But, you know, I was away for a day in downtown Buffalo. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Jam-packed, okay? I mean, I kid you not, jam-packed. In Plymouth, my neighbors told me they went to Plymouth over the weekend. Jam-packed. So it's not just colleges. It's pretty much everywhere. It's gorgeous outside. You want to go outside, you want to get a bite, you want to enjoy yourself. And unfortunately, I think COVID is the last thing people are thinking about. But I'm not saying they should be thinking about it. I'm just saying it's how it is right now.
Our inside place is jam-packed, though, where you go. You just said outside. I think that's a critical difference. These kids are packing houses.
In half a mile, turn right
I mean,
onto
remember going to a college party back in the day? And
I was never invited.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yes.
But you go to an apartment, and people are just crammed in there.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, I think there's a different way. I mean, you can go out and go out to eat and enjoy a bite to eat and drink outside at a restaurant, and people can do that properly by social distancing as well as they can. But at a house party like this, you can't do any of that. It's very different, I think. All right, another news, you guys. Another really sad story. A young boy, 11 years old, died in the UP on Friday when a sand dune collapsed on him. So according to authorities, they say that the boy was digging into the dune at this Lake Superior beach when it
That's so scary.
How big was
It's,
the dune?
I mean, big enough to collapse on him. It doesn't have to even be huge, but bigger than the boy. I know, it's very, very sad. The family was not from Michigan. They were they were traveling, but it sounds like they did everything they could to save this boy and revive him, but unfortunately he passed away.
You know, the beach erosion around
Oh
all the
my
Great
gosh.
Lakes is a huge thing right now, like on the
It's
west
so
side.
sad.
And I think this, I mean, I'm speculating here, but the
Yeah.
water works underneath the sand, so the buildup of it's there, but underneath it's hollow and it will just give, you know? I mean, this
Yeah.
is like, I would be a little careful going around anything like real close to the water that's elevated.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I was just in the UP, just on Lake Superior. Our cottage is right on the lake, and there is erosion everywhere. It's so sad to see. It's happening all over the lakeshore. I mean, there's the beach. I mean, we still hung out at the beach, which is right below the erosion line. We weren't digging in it by any means, but it depends where he was. I'm trying to picture a sand dune. You know, if it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to picture it, and I just can't. But I mean, this is the last thing you would expect to happen.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if there's something elevated, like, you know, where the water's coming out, like,
Yeah.
underneath it a little bit. It's just the way the weather's been the last few years. The beaches have been torn apart. People are losing their houses.
Oh yeah, it's right where my cottage is. I mean, most of the houses are built further back, thank goodness, but there's a lot of property that it's just so devastating to see, because a lot of people are losing. If they haven't lost their property, they could shortly lose their home. It's very sad. You guys, a rare autographed Mike Trout rookie baseball card just recently sold for $3.93 million on Saturday. It just became the highest selling sports card of all time.
Can you live in it? I mean, honestly, what's so special about it?
Yeah, I don't get why this
I
is
don't get
worth
it.
so much. Maybe we can.
Because the last most expensive card to sell was LeBron James, and that was a rookie card. It went for like $1 million. Before that, it was Mike Trout. It went for like $950,000. Okay, still a ton of money, but this is like $3 million more. So what's so special about this one?
I don't get it. I mean, I've heard that there's like collectibles right now are worth more than they have been because of COVID. It's because people aren't doing anything, so it's actually driving up the value of these things. I just don't understand that market at all. And as far as Mike Trout goes, I mean, Jeff, do you think he's ever going to have a chance to go down as the greatest baseball player ever?
Yeah, because his career is very young still. I mean, it's going on a decade, but he's only 29, 30 years old. So he's just in his prime. Eventually, you got to believe the Angels can get back to the postseason. So yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think so too, but I do think he's got to have some sort of postseason success. You know, that a couple of those moments, like even Barry Bonds ended up having it some.
Yeah, the problem, like Barry Bonds probably is the greatest, right? But he never won a World Series, and he still went down as the greatest. You probably need a couple. I would agree with that.
I mean, but Barry
And
Bonds...
it also hurts him. He plays in LA, and it's baseball, and everybody in the East Coast doesn't really get to watch him.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like I don't deny his ability whatsoever. You can't statistically, but there's something that when I say Mike Trout's the greatest baseball player ever, that doesn't sound right.
I don't disagree. But we can talk about it. Heather Park, thank you with the news. Coming up next, speaking about the greatest ever, this guy could have went down as the greatest ever in Detroit. Maybe. But it sure the hell ain't going to happen now. We'll tell you who it is. We'll do it next. 97 won the ticket.
In Detroit, with Xfinity X5, you get the ultimate control of your in-home Wi-Fi. Pause the Wi-Fi on any connected devices. See who's on your network and more. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is X5.
There are times when it's hard to ignore that you may have a gambling problem. Like when you're at the casino and you've withdrawn the maximum amount from your ATM. Withdrawal denied. When you can't leave the tables, yet you don't know how you're going to put food on the table. Credit card denied. When you can't seem to pump the brakes on gaming and then can't fill up your gas tank. Transaction denied. When you're so invested in gambling, you're not able to invest in your future. You're robbing yourself and those you love of a better life. Approval denied. Don't deny there's a problem any longer. If you or someone you love is struggling with a gambling problem, we can help you win your life back. For free confidential help, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117 or visit michigan.gov/problemgambling. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
A big shout out to the LaFontaine family, celebrating 40 years in the car business. Family strong. Right now at LaFontaine Buick GMC, lease a new 2020 Buick Encore Demo for only $99 a month. Just $99 a month. Hurry into 4000 West Highland Road or shop, click, and drive today at LaFontaineGM.com. Lease for 24 months at 10,000 miles per year. 2,500 plus tax, title, and claim to it signing. BGM employee pricing and Buick GMC lease and household. No security deposit. It's 83120.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep all night, every day. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep is going on now. Take advantage of our best offer of the year and experience your best sleep of the summer. All Tempur-Pedic mattresses are on sale with select savings up to $500. More at Tempur-Pedic.com.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Picaro of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbphealth.com.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
2-1. Swinging a line drive, base it into right field. They're going to wave home Reyes around third. Santana's throw will be way up line. Reyes scores easily. Line drive single from Miguel Cabrera with 2 outs adds to the Tigers' lead. They now have a 6-1 lead here in the 6th.
No, Dan Dickerson on the call. Tigers actually win the game. They win the series. They're only 5 games out of the wild card. Okay, seriously. Maybe 3. Start talking wild card. The take on the Cubs today at Comerica. Catch the game right here, 6:45 on the ticket. Casey Mize Day. It's the Mize surprise of the second outing, so we'll see what happens. But there's another guy for the Tigers. And I know Tom's dying to talk about this. But Miguel Cabrera has been awful. And before you pick up the news, the free press, and they're going to make excuses because, oh, you know, it's the knees with Biggie, or it's the legs, or he lost all that weight, and he'll eventually catch up with the fastball. This is what happens to guys in their mid-30s, especially sluggers in their mid-30s. They flat out lose.
At the light,
When we
use
saw
the right 2 lanes to turn onto places where
playing
Lake
the
Road.
is obviously a couple years ago, and now we're seeing the Miguel Cabrera. If you're driving, that means you're sitting down. That's okay. If you're standing up, sit down
Take a slight right turn onto
Miguel
South
Cabrera is
Telegraph
sitting
Road.
181 for the season. He has an
At the
OPS.
light, use
An
the right 3 lanes
OPS
to
of
take a slight right turn onto South Telegraph Road.
5.94.
Then make the
He's
U-turn.
been absolutely dreadful. And Tom Milliken in our prep had a fabulous question for the people. Go ahead.
All right, well, look, I hate bashing guys who have done a lot for our teams, and they're at the end of the road, and you can see it.
But here you go anyway.
Exactly. This isn't going to be bashing more than it's just reality. Reality is this guy's done. He's D-O-N-E done. He has one double. One double in 25 games. I mean, come on. This is your third hitter. At least move him down. And what we're seeing here is Victor 2.0 again. And it got ugly with Victor because Victor had an attitude. Miggy still has a good attitude. But Victor kind of fought it a little bit, you know, and acted like he was still a good player when he wasn't. This 594 OPS, that's worse than Victor. Victor was like 660. I'm celebrating 660 OPS here. This is ridiculous. One double. I can't stress it. One double. And a 176 batting average right now. At the very least, they have to move him down, don't they?
Well, Tom, it's funny because I got two things. First of all, your question was a great one. Is winning Miguel Cabrera's legacy? Because I think it is, to an extent, and every day that you live, 2012, that Triple Crown, grow further and further away. The difference between him and Victor is he still has 3 years at $30 million a pop on the books. He makes $30 million next year, $32 million in 2022, and $32 million in 2023. And then there's a couple of vesting options that he may or may not see. The bottom line is, I would move him down, but I got another scenario too. And they'll never do this because it's baseball and you need to get that experience. But I would bring Spencer Torkelson on. I know he's learning how to play third base. He's working with Tram. I get it. Screw it. Put him at the DH spot. See what the kid can do. He's one. He's the first overall pick. And let's see what's up. And Miggy can move further in the lineup, or he can play every other day.
I say in normal years, no way. On Torkelson, way too soon.
It's not normal year.
It's not. And we're basically to a point where it's September call-up time. And I know you keep on making the standings references in terms of the wild card. Come on. The team cannot consistently hit. The lineup is still, it's not quite the garbage it was last year. If they had Cron, it would, I think, be better. And I think if they had Cron, you could entertain things. They just don't have the depth in the lineup to do anything. Unless they brought up somebody like Torkelson and he, you know, found magic in the water and did something because nobody knows how to pitch to him, you know?
Yeah, but think about this. Think about this, Tom. Spencer Torkelson, his contract will not stop. The Super Sue arbitration nonsense, that doesn't affect him. You can bring him up. You can play him. You can see what he looks like. And let's say he stinks. He's a rookie. His confidence is not going to be shattered. You don't get to this spot with your confidence being shattered. And maybe you can play. Maybe it gets the excitement of the fans up. I'm sick and tired of seeing Miggy being trotted out there. But the question is his legacy, as we speak, at 6:42 in the morning on a Monday, the 24th, I believe. Yes, that's right. Almost football season. Is his legacy being tarnished? And I say absolutely it is.
I think it's starting to be. And I don't think I would ask this question unless I thought it was. And I don't know how fair it is, but we're going on 3 to 4 years of this now where he's simply nothing even close to what he used to be. And that's okay. Like the year he had 16 home runs, I think we can deal with it. In the contract, we all knew that the back end of this was going to be bad. And I still contend that it was worth it, and it will always be worth it. But I do feel like Miguel Cabrera's kind of getting all the blows of this team not actually winning a World Series, that era not coming through in the end. And he's the last one standing. And he's going to get all the negative thoughts about it. It's almost like, I don't know, this isn't completely a fair comparison. Because I thought Zetterberg and Datsyuk got out at the right time, both of them. But I don't know, maybe somebody like
respected.
Yeah, I think a guy like Dan Cleary, who actually did some good things for the Red Wings and was a good player at one time, because he hung on so long, everybody hated him at the end. Like seriously, and there were jokes about him being called up all the time. But I mean, Miguel Cabrera is a legend. Dan Cleary was just a role player.
Yeah, but you know what? The longer you're around, and the longer it is where you're not productive, you become less and less of a legend. And it irritates me reading the various articles that all they do is make excuses. This happens to a lot of guys. It happened to Ryan Howard. It happened to Frank Thomas. It happened a little bit to Albert Pujols. I mean, that dude doesn't hit for average. He still gets a pop every now and then. I mean, go on and on. The only guy that it didn't seem to happen to was Jim Thome. Happened to Albert Bell. Happened to Juan Gonzalez. I mean, this is a normal thing that happens. The only issue is, he signed him to a bad contract. He's got 3 more years left. And you cannot watch 3 more years of this.
No.
Because people, I don't want to say are turning against him, because right now most people don't care. That's the luxury Miguel Cabrera has. The fact that people care about Mize and Skubal, and they care about Paredes, and they care about the kids. They don't care about the success of the team, so they're not focusing on, I guess, what Miggy isn't giving you. But if this was a better team and they actually were competing and Miggy's hit 186 or 172 or whatever the hell it is, then I think he would feel a lot more wrath. The fact that they stink, I don't think he will. But if they get better, I mean, think of next year at this time. And he's not going to do any better. I mean, he's just, like you mentioned, done.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the hope is that all of the excuses, well, you had this COVID thing and the season's all, he was ready to go, and then this threw everything off. And they'll probably try to sell that he'll be a fixture in the lineup again next year.
That's what they do every year.
And maybe, but there's a slim chance that he could get some magic in the first half. I don't believe what I'm saying. It's even hard to even say it. I think, though, realistically, you will not see a buyout until maybe this time next year, maybe a little earlier than this, like around the trade deadline. But eventually, they got to buy him out. You can't buy out $90 million.
There's no way they're going to buy out $60 million.
You can't keep putting this out there. You have no options. He can't play in the field. You've done that. You've taken care of that already. If you're actually trying to compete, and I know they're respecting him by hitting him third right now. It's a respect thing, just like Victor hit fourth, and he finally slid down to 6th, didn't he?
6th, yes.
You know, that you're not trying to win if you're putting Miggy third in the lineup right now. You're not.
But see, that's the thing. This year, you're really not. Next year, you're not going to win next year either. Maybe the year after that. And by that time, Miggy's going to be even more of a shell of himself. And by the way, it's not Miggy's fault. It's time. It's the Tigers' fault for signing him to that awful contract after Max Scherzer shunned him and turned him down. I mean, look at the timeline.
I think if you, let's say you bought him out and so he was able to sign even a minor league deal with another team right now.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Do you think, but let's just say a team wanted him. Do you think there's a team that would sign him?
No.
I would say the only reason there is because of the DH right now in the National League that may stay for good. The need for DHs, that somebody might take a flyer like a Pirates or something like that, you know.
I mean, I guess, what are you going to pay him? You can give him a minor league deal, but if you're buying him out for $90 million, I think he's done. I think he walks away from the game a pretty happy man, and by the way, a very successful career. But it does bum me out. It does, because Miggy is one of the greatest we've ever seen, not just in Detroit, but in baseball. And he gets crapped on a lot because he can't produce anymore. So it totally bums me out.
All right.
But it's a good question. Is his legacy being tarnished? 248-539-9797. The ticket text, the exact same number. It's a great question by the Gov. I think the answer is absolutely yes. Talk about it next. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. No issues on your drive this morning. Things are moving nicely along 275, Southfield and Lodge freeways, also 94 and 696. For same-day service of your air conditioning or plumbing, call Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. 37 years in the business. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. 800-924-2123. MastercraftHeating.com. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
Taylor Chevrolet's open road sales event still on. Save up to 15% of MSRP cashback on select Chevy vehicles. Schedule your personalized appointment in their showroom or experience the simplicity of shop, click, and drive at TaylorChevy.com. Find your picture new Chevy car or truck and value your trade-in all online. You'll save huge and say yes when you take advantage of the great discounts available during Taylor's Chevy Open Road Sales Event. Apply for credit online 24/7 and get instant results. It's quick and easy, so you can drive away today. Good, bad, or even no credit. All applications welcome at TaylorChevy.com. Sign and drive options also available. 0 down, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month payment. Get up to 120% of Kelley Blue Book for your trade-in and choose the options that are best for you. Visit TaylorChevrolet.com for full details. Come on down and see the great folks on Telegraph Road, north of Eureka. Taylor Chevrolet says yes.
This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Hall Financial. Go to DavidHallMortgage.com.
Boomer Esiason with a Radio.com Sports Minute. Decades ago, NFL Films coined the phrase on any given Sunday to promote the possibility of upsets. Yesterday was a given Sunday, folks, for a different kind of reason. Practice schedules were altered, delayed, or postponed following a spate of false positive COVID-19 tests involving the Browns, Bears, Jets, Bills, Steelers, and Vikings. All utilize the same New Jersey laboratory BioReference to process their results. So what happens during the regular season if positive results, real or false, crop up on any given Saturday or Sunday? Commissioner Roger Goodell has his medical consultants, and he also has a special advisory panel. This group, which will replace the competition committee, consists of former players Champ Bailey, Isaac Bruce, and Troy Polamalu, former coaches Tom Coughlin, Marvin Lewis, and former executives Charlie Casserly, Bill Polian, and Rick Smith. These guys are going to be deciding whether to postpone or how to reschedule. I don't necessarily know that any of them have the expertise in this field. Former scientists.
That's what protecting your car could sound like with 303 touchless sealant. Just spray on a wet surface, rinse off, and dry. It's the sound of twice the protection as traditional waxes and insane water beating you have to see to believe. Wait, this is radio, right? Okay, moving on. 303 touchless sealant. Available now at Advanced Auto Parts. When it comes to flooring options for the pro, no one covers floors better than the Home Depot. With over 300,000 flooring supplies online and in-store, plus in-demand styles, from modern mosaics to waterproof vinyl and laminates, we buy more than anyone else, so you'll save more than anywhere else. With everyday low prices and even bigger savings when you purchase by the pallet. The pros
Niko Goodrum. Oh, does that have to feel good for him? Home run number 5 gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead here in the 4th.
That's right, Niko Goodrum got the day off on Saturday, came back, big time on Sunday with a bomb. Tigers win it 7-4. Got a little scary at the end. Joe Jimenez ends up coming in and having to leave after picking up a 3-run jack. But the Tigers take a series from the Tribe for the first time in 705 days. Meanwhile, Miguel Cabrera, as we're talking about, sitting 181 with a 594 OPS, did get a 2 RBI single yesterday. So it begs the question, and Tom asked the question, is Mickey's legacy being tarnished right in front of your face? And if you're the Tigers, what the hell do you do?
We had talked about it before. The contract, it's still 3 years. They still own $90 million the next 3 years. It's inconceivable to buy him out until that gets down to, I think, at least $60 million. You know, so we're going to be dealing with this for a whole nother year, and I think you at least have to move him down the lineup. Maybe that sparks something. But for him to be hitting 3rd overall is cheating the rest of the team.
I don't disagree. The problem is he's really the only big contract on this team. And I don't think the Tigers will ever buy him out. I think it's a legacy thing. I think it's a pride thing. I also think there's a certain part of the Tigers that want to see 500, potentially 3,000 hits in a Tigers uniform. He's got the money. They're paying him the money. I don't think he's going anywhere. But I do wonder if his legacy is being tarnished. But you asked the question in the break. Then we'll go to the calls at 248-539-9797. Is Mickey even beloved here? Like, because there is this feeling that Justin Verlander, even though he left, right, and may or may not have cheated with Houston, it feels like people love JV more than Miguel Cabrera. Not me, personally. I love Mickey. I love what he's done in Detroit. Obviously, the off the field is a whole different conversation. But I do think he's beloved. You don't know.
No, I didn't say completely. I just don't think he's as beloved as he should be for what he's accomplished. Like, I feel, and that might be the whole, you know, international thing that sometimes happens. Like, I even feel that way almost up until the last couple of years that Nick Lidstrom was treated that way. Like, I still think there's a segment of our you know, sports fans in this town where if you say Nick Lidstrom is the greatest Red Wing of all time, like, you will be lynched almost. When if you actually look at it deeply, you can make the argument.
I'll take it a step further. Not only the greatest Red Wing, but the best defenseman ever.
Yeah. No, he's... Yeah. I think you can argue Nick Lidstrom would be on the all-time NHL starting 5 before Gordie Howe. That's my personal opinion, but there's people in this town, what did that man just say? You know?
Well, because they were in love with Stevie, they were in love with, obviously, Sergei, too. And Nick never had any flash. He just made every decision the right decision and was a freaking Hall of Famer for 21 years. But I would agree. As far as Miguel Cabrera is concerned, though, I do think he's beloved. I think it's different. I think you hear the radio crowd, people that call into the ticket, I think they are less in love with him. But the people that go to the games, the people that are lifelong Tiger fans, the people that live and die in each game, I think they love themselves some Miguel Cabrera and never will forget 2012, when he did it 13, and, you know, some of the really good years he had.
But if he continues to play this way and this goes on through all of next year, he's making a great case. This is why you step away while you're still great. Like the Barrys of the world, the Calvins and stuff like that. That's why.
You're not going to leave 90 mil on the table.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing.
Money, baby.
The baseball and the guaranteed contract. So that's what comes.
He's still a Hall of Famer regardless.
Oh yeah. He's a first.
I mean, Frank Thomas had a really bad last 2 or 3 years. He's still in the Hall of Fame. So if you're getting in, you might as well get your 97 mil.
All right, let's go to David in Oak Park. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Dave. What's going on?
I grew up in an era, I was blessed to live in the era of 4 decades. I've played 2 sports. One of my favorites is baseball, and I think for me, it is a shame. You guys are spot on to see a player the caliber Mickey to use the right lane to take exit 169 and it's waiting years like the 60 personally because I love the game. And with that being said, have nothing to lose. Bring up these young guys, including drop them in the lineup. And I mean, I'm not trying to get emotional, but I wanted the fans in Detroit to love this guy. He's fine. He was one of the best hitters I've ever seen, bar none. And to see the Tigers not, and I understand the five things in Detroit. They're figuring that they're getting him his due respect by continuing to keep him in the lineup. But you got to figure out how to get these young guys up. If you drop them, I mean, not to disrespect you, but not to see a player of that caliber, you know, I can't make fun of a guy like that. He's one of the greatest. I think he's one of the greatest I've ever seen. I've had uncles that have seen, you know, players in all four areas, from Clemente to Mays to Stan Musial. Okay, so it just, you know, pains me because, you know, I'm a big fan of the game and a very big fan of that gentleman. Okay?
I mean, you make a great point. You really do. It's hard to even talk about him like this.
Well, yeah.
Because of what he's given to you as far as, I know people bring up the off-the-field stuff. I get it. But what he did in a baseball uniform, he was one of the more feared hitters you'd ever see in quite some time. But as he was talking, it did dawn on me. Maybe you put him back at first base. You move Jamer around the field, who's playing okay. And maybe that somehow, some way reinvigorates Miguel Cabrera, because some of the greatest will tell you it's hard to become a DH. I'm not saying he's not toast, because I do believe he's toast.
Yeah, but you know,
maybe you throw him back out there. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt.
You're reading the stories in the news right now. The people who are trying to defend him. The DH thing is not an excuse for the way he's hitting right now.
No, and I agree, but I do think there is something to that. I do. Talk to Gary Sheffield. Talk to anybody that had to become a DH. It F's with you. It does, because you go from being engaged every inning to you get 4 at-bats, and you got to figure out a different way to use your time when you're not in one of those 4 at-bats. So I do think it F's with you. Not to the tune of 178, but I do think it screws with you.
Look, okay, there's the argument out there. I personally don't think it's that case in this, and that he shouldn't be in the field anymore. You know, to me, the simple fix right now, and I think we're taking some shots at him here, maybe prematurely a little bit, but he should be dropped in the lineup. He should. And the only reason he's hitting 3 because of what he did 3 years and longer ago. So try that. Maybe that motivates him.
248-539-9797. Is the legacy of Miguel Cabrera tarnished? Should he be dropped in the lineup? Should he flat out be benched and bring up Spencer Torkelson or Riley Green? Granted, one could play first base, the other probably can't at this point, although I think both should be brought up anyhow. So it's out there if you want to hit on it. 248-539-9797. Tony Ortiz, one of the greatest as well. Sports Update right now.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by YC Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
Home runs by Nico Goodrum, Jorge Bonifacio, and Grayson Greiner helped power the Tigers to a 7-4 win yesterday in Cleveland. Next up for Detroit, a 3-game series against the Chicago Cubs that will begin tonight at Comerica Park. Casey Mize will get the start for Detroit this evening. The Cubs will counter with right-hander Alec Mills. Coverage of the game right here on The Ticket, starting at 6:45. Dustin Johnson was the winner of the PGA Tour's Northern Trust Open yesterday, the first event of this year's FedEx Cup playoffs. With that victory, Johnson now moves into first place in the current FedEx Cup point standings.
Feel good about my position. You know, obviously the game is very good right now. I played, really solid all 4 days this week, and got 2 more big tournaments coming up. Next week's the BMW, and then obviously the Tour Championship at Eastlake.
Kevin Harvick's amazing 2020 continued yesterday with a victory at Dover. That win turns out to be the 7th of the year for Harvick, the most in NASCAR this season. Meanwhile, it was Takuma Sato who wins yesterday's running of the Indianapolis 500. The race finishes under caution, however, after Spencer Pigot crashed with just 5 laps left to go. Off day today for the Lions as training camp is set to resume tomorrow morning in Allen Park. Just 48 hours after getting into an altercation with teammate Chuck Clark at practice, the Baltimore Ravens terminate the contract of former Pro Bowl safety Earl Thomas. That move, by the way, helps the Ravens financially, since terminating Thomas's contract actually frees up $10 million in salary cap space. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
some dirt on Miguel Cabrera, as his batting average has not climbed since the last segment, unfortunately. Miggy, in case you're just joining us, hitting 181, a 594 OPS. He has 4 jacks, I'd like to call them dongs, for the season. And he has 1 extra base hit that is not a knock. It's a double. And it happened in the game in, I don't know, I want to say August, because that's the only month they're playing it. But what should be done with Miguel Cabrera is his legacy being tarnished. Just some of the things we're chatting about, 248-539-9797. The ticket text, the exact same number.
All right, so you had said before the break, I thought you made a great point, and I needed to look up some stats about the Tigers wanting him to be in uniform when he hits the 500th home run.
Sure.
Okay, so since the beginning of 2018, he has 19 home runs. How many home runs does he need to get to 500?
I think he's at 4. Well, he has 4. Hold on a second. He was 27 away, I think, entering this season, so I'm going to say he's 23 away now.
No, he's at 481, so that's 19.
So he's at 19.
19, exactly. So
will he get the 19 in the remainder of his contract?
So 19 in the last 199 games. And he's probably not going to be able to do that in the next 199 because he's getting worse. And the troubling thing is the batting average. Like, to me, if he could hit 260 and be Singlio, we take it.
Siggy instead of Miggy?
Yeah, he can't even do that right now. And that's why I just think that the contract is the only reason why he's still playing.
Of course. Of course. I mean, he has no job with no other team. But the Tigers, the Tigers, they're not going to move him down in the order. Gardy's not going to move him down. It's not like Chris Ilitch wants to see this guy disrespected. They're just going to continue to pay him, not to mention he's the only guy making any substantial money on that payroll. So he'll get paid and he'll ride it out. And every year you'll hear the different defense. Well, he lost a lot of weight this year, so he should kill the ball. Or, I mean, dude, people are still talking about the legitimate spring training. Well, did you see him in spring training? He looked ripped. He was killing the ball. He's destroying the ball.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't mean anything that you hit 2
Of course it doesn't mean anything.
Hit 2 home runs off Garrett Cole in 1 game. Maybe Garrett Cole is working on something, you know? You think Garrett Cole is throwing his best stuff? In spring training, these guys are working on things. They're working through something, too. So we're going to circle one moment this past spring, and that's going to be the ray of hope when you look at the stats the last 3 years that I just gave, and it just continues to dwindle and go down.
Well, that's what bums me out, though. I feel there is a lack of honesty. I do. With the people, some of the people that write about this team, some of the people that cover this team. I think it's pretty obvious what we see on a game in and game out basis. And yet sometimes people try to tell you different.